Oh, hello, hi, how you doing? I thought I'd do a quick video today on how I drive these sort of larger size posts into the ground. I mean, I just did a video the other day where I had a trellis I was making. I had a whole bunch of big sort of 2-inch diameter sticks like this driven into the ground, and you didn't see how I did it. You know, if the ground's soft enough and you're big enough and heavy enough, you can just grab it and push it in. But if the ground's really hard, or maybe you don't weigh that much, or maybe you have some back problem or something like that, not always quite so easy. So I'm going to show you a technique here for getting big stakes like this and driving them into the ground a good, 16, 18 inches. I find that's all that's needed to hold up to most conditions. I'm sure if we get a hurricane here, it might not hold up, but it'd be the least of my concerns if we had a hurricane, because they'd probably lose my roof. Anyway, I'm going to show you a technique, real quick video here on how to do that if you don't have a lot of strength, you don't have a lot of weight, and you don't have any help. You got to do it all yourself. So have a watch here. So I got a stick. It's about 6 feet, and I've made a nice point on the end, pointy stick. And let's say I want to stick it in the ground. And the ground here is fairly hard. It's mostly clay. So the ground here is pretty hard. And if I push really hard, that's about as far as I can get that in with my weight and my strength. So how far did I get in? I get in about 8 inches. Not enough. So what you got to do is you got to work a hole into the ground that's slightly smaller than the hole you need for your post. So you get a sort of thin stick like this with a point, and you get a slightly thicker stick like this with a point, and you put one in, you get it out, you put the other one, you get it out, then you can put the big one in. All right, so this one's about, I don't know, maybe 16 inches. So I'll put this in, use my axe here, drive that down until it's about a foot deep. That sort of prepares. Another tip is to do this on a day after a good rain. It just seems to soften the soil up a bit. So I've got that in about as far as it's going to go. Now you just give it a tap in either direction. A piece of hardwood's probably better for this. Give it a tap to sort of loosen it up a bit. Now you're just making a hole in the ground. See if I can get that out. The reason I got a string on here is, worst comes to worst, you can, put it through a stick like this and use it like a lever to pull it out. Right? That's going to be the hardest one to get out. Okay, so now I've done everything I can with this one. Now I'll use a slightly larger one and try to get it in a little deeper. Give that a wiggle every so many taps, so it'll come back out. I'm doing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's see how deep we are now. So we're just over a foot right now, maybe 14 inches. We'll go a little further. 1, 2, 3, wiggle. 1, 2, 3, wiggle. 1, 2, 3. If there's a rock underneath there, you're doomed. You got to choose another spot. Now we got a little further. Because this is all clay soil, when this thing goes in, it's going to be really in there, right? There we go. So how deep are we now? So that's almost 2 feet, and that's enough. It's enough for, it's about 18 inches or 20 inches. That's good enough for some sort of trellis type stake. So now this can go in. Let's say, make a little mark here. The length of this axe is about what we're going for anyway, so I'll make a little mark right there. So we want to get there for our depth. See if I can get there just using a little bit of... That's pretty close. That's pretty close. So that got within about 2 inches of my mark. And now this has come down far enough, and I'm tall enough, or I could stand on here if I wasn't, just give it a couple taps from the top and drive it down that extra 2 inches, right? why this is important is if you've got a really tall stake and you're trying to get it into the ground, and the top of the stake is at your head height or above your head height, and you're like trying to hit it with a hammer, you're hammering towards your face. A, it's just a difficult thing to do. B, it's dangerous. Now, the top of this is actually below my chin. Let's check here. Move that a bit more. See, now it's sort of, I guess, at nose level, but that's better than being up here somewhere, right? I can get at it. Or if I was to stand on this old stump, right now I'm above it. I don't want this here, so I'm not going to drive it in any further. But that's a way to get a heavy stake into the ground by yourself. And if you're not 240, 50 pounds, or I'm about 215, 210, depending on my diet. But even in this ground, I couldn't drive this in with just sheer strength and weight. I'd have to get a hole in there or get help with somebody else. So either I'm standing on a ladder hitting it up top, which, well, you miss that. You can hit your arm. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong unless you have a proper mallet. So just one way around all of that, right? By just using a small stick, then a larger stick, and then, you know, sort of making a hole for your post to go in, just gradually working it out. All right, so I hope that was helpful and I hope you found it useful. Please share, subscribe, like, sub bell, all that good stuff. And check out my podcast, maritimegardening.com. Till next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.